Yuba-Sutter.Live's local government live streams are presented by Plumas Lake Self-Storage in Plumas Lake, where lifelong local residents are helping other residents keep things safe, providing indoor storage units, outdoor RV and vehicle parking, moving supplies, and Penske truck rentals. Details at plumaslakeselfstorage.com.
Back to open session. Can everybody please stand for the pledge of allegiance? So, pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you guys. And I just paper today. All right. Any agenda reorganization?
No, but I do have questions on the consent of the questions.
I asked the agents to show these before the dashboard.
Yes. And yeah, we can do that. Student reports. Rochambeau, guys. Oh.
So for Yuba-Sutter High School, we had our homecoming night, and we had the royalty for that. It was me and my friend. And then we had a dance planned for last Saturday, but it did get canceled due to low ticket sales.
Aww.
I guess, yeah. But we changed our minds and we basically said, since it was kind of like a way to fundraise money for the junior class, we said that instead of doing a dance, we would do a carnival at the end of the year, or like around like the week before finals, the 29th is what we're planning. It would be a community fair, so it wouldn't just be for the school, it would just be for the community in general for everyone. And then we also have senior night for basketball coming, and yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. Thank you.
So can I ask a question? Is it true you only sold 7 tickets for the dance?
Yes, unfortunately. Most people were using their gold card to get tickets, which is like free entry basically, so, and there also wasn't like a lot of people, I guess, like just trying to go to the dance.
So as far as leadership and all that, you're not required to go to the dances and things like that?
Ooh.
Leadership students, key club students, athletes, just saying.
I was going to go with my friends because, I mean, I think if you're in leadership, you kind of should go. I think that's kind of expected. I don't know about
participation.
Others. I know for a fact me and my friend, we were going to go because it's our dance.
That's sad. It's just sad.
I have a question. Was this a major fundraiser for the junior class?
Yeah, because we do need we do need a lot of money going into our senior year for prom and for grad night and all those stuff. So It was kind of a major fundraiser, but we decided that we would have had more money with like a carnival and selling like tickets and like having like performances and selling food. We would have more money coming into us rather than a dance, which we would end up spending more on than what we would be receiving.
Okay. So keep us informed about the carnival.
Yeah.
Of course,
I'm really
yes.
looking forward to seeing what that's going to be.
Yes, of course.
Thank you.
We also had our homecoming week last week, and then last night we had our boys soccer senior night, and in that game they solidified themselves for the number 1 in the league, and they're moving on to playoffs. The schedule hasn't come out yet, and then JV boys soccer also got number 1. JV doesn't have playoffs, but they got number 1 in their league. And then boys basketball, we have a senior night, just the last game on Friday against Placer. And that's it.
Staff recognition.
Okay, so we're continuing our tradition of recognizing outstanding employee performance and what they bring to our district and the community that we serve. And so Tricia Collier is going to come up, our Director of Accounting, to present to us.
Good evening, board members and community audience. Tonight I have the opportunity to recognize 2 of my staff members from the accounting department. And the first is Val Allred.
Yay, Val.
It is a pleasure to recognize Val for her incredible dedication and expertise with our accounting department. Val's journey with us is a testament to her growth and vital role she plays in our daily operations. Val started with us as a substitute in November 2008. She was then hired on as a permanent role as an account specialist 2 in the accounts payable department. Then, in September 2019, Val earned a well-deserved promotion to account specialist 3, where she is today. In this April, Val will be celebrating a landmark of 16 years of permanent service with our district. So I've had the pleasure of working with you for 16 years. And Val's definition of detail-oriented. In the high-stakes world of accounts payable, her position ensures that nothing falls through the cracks, whether she's submitting board agenda items, navigating complexities of 1099 reporting. Val handles her responsibilities with a level of care that is rare to find. Val maintains comprehensive spreadsheets for most vendors, allowing her to pull data and answer complex questions at a moment's notice. I'm always bugging her for that. She's known for keeping the team on their toes, especially me. Always coming after me, where's the charter? Where's the in-loop charter? Every month. Val's very about her deadline. She ensures that our financial obligations are always met, and her long-term institutional knowledge makes her a go-to resource for our department. Val's attention to detail and proactive approach to deadlines make her an absolute asset to the accounts payable department. She doesn't just do the job, she masters it. Val, I want to thank you for 16 years of excellence and for being a truly exceptional employee. You're lucky to have you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And then we'll have a picture of you too, that's okay. Oh, yeah. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. So our next staff member I would like to recognize is Blanca. She wanted to do the catwalk. She wanted to come from all the way to the back.
Oh, my favorite color, thank you. That was
I know, the darker this one I thought you would like better. It is a privilege to recognize Blanca. She's been in the accounting department with me since February 17, 2004. As she approaches her 22nd anniversary with the district this month, we want to celebrate the incredible impact she's made through her dedication, work ethic, and expertise. Blanca began her journey as an account specialist 2 in accounts payable, where her sharp eye for detail quickly became apparent. Her expertise led to a well-deserved promotion to account specialist 3 in November of 2009. Over the years, she seamlessly transitioned her skills, managing accounts receivable, cash monitoring, and overseeing capital programs, both federal and state. She audits AP batches weekly and handles those essential board agenda items like donations. From trip requests, transfers, to stepping in as the vital backup for facility use, Blanca is the ultimate team player. Anything we ask, she'll do. She does. In her job description.
Let the record
To many of us, Blanca is more than her job title. She's a mentor of our work family. Her work ethic is unmatched. She truly cares about her job and the integrity of the district's finances. Blanca was one of the first people I met here. She trained me in accounts payable, and we've shared nearly 22 years of work memories. She isn't just a colleague, she's the person who showed me the ropes and has been continuous support for me. After 22 years of helping, keep the books balanced and the lights on in Yuba City Unified, Blanca is preparing to trade board agendas for beach chairs.
Yeah.
Or at least a much-deserved break from auditing AP. Blanca, while I'm officially devastated that you're retiring on May 1st, I am so incredibly grateful to have worked with you and for the humor you've brought to our department. Blanca, thank you for your 22 years of excellence. And I'm still going to expect tamales every Christmas. You know where I live. Drop them off.
That's no puppy.
I think you should keep her. She's
That's
good.
HR. My other. Thank you. Thank you.
Alright, moving on, we're gonna do the Bridge Street Showcase first.
Yes, bring on the show.
Thank you, and I'd like to introduce Principal Melissa McIntyre. Extraordinaire.
Thank you guys for having me. I love talking about Bridge Street. It's an amazing school. I showcase our Rooted in Purpose Growing Together. Every year, the leadership team and I determine a theme for the school year to just sort of help drive morale, keep our school grounded in some sort of idea that the staff then carries throughout the months of the school year. And it's a lot of fun for the staff. And we've learned that our staff is extremely competitive. So this year it is Rooted in Purpose Growing Together, with really looking at a tree, what our foundation is, where our roots are, what our trunk is, and what's branching from it. So if you do come to Bridge Street School, you'll see that tree actually on one of our walls in the hallway, where we've added to it and done some activities throughout the year about what that means to us personally. So, oh, got it. Thank you. So just demographics, I really just went through the slides, so you may have questions if this is a little underwhelming. But we're currently sitting at 418. Unfortunately, I have to eat my words to Scott Bentley on our enrollment, but we'll deal with that later. And then our number of certificated staff right now, including itinerant staff, we're at 33. Classified, we're sitting at 35 with 2 open positions right now. One of them, I think, is being filled this week. We are sitting at 94.7% in low socioeconomic status. Our EL learners, since I've been there over the course of 9 years, has actually reduced from around 54 to now sitting at 43%. So that's been interesting. We don't currently have any students in foster youth, which is great. We love having our kids with their families. And then our students with disabilities are at 18%. Fun facts about Bridge Street School: we're the Bulldogs, where we do it the Bulldog way. We are respectful, responsible, and safe Bulldogs. Our colors are blue and gold. We are truly proud to be an Avid Showcase school. We've done that for the last 3 years and feel really good about our practices within our classrooms around Avid strategies. So March 18th, I believe, is our next Avid Showcase. So I know Ms. Bonslet is coming out, but anyone is welcome to come out if you'd like to walk that showcase and see what we're doing. It is a showcase, so it is a show, but it is really replicating what we do throughout the school year, and you do get to see the collaboration continuity across our school-wide campus.
When does that take place?
March 18th. In the morning, so I think check-in's at 8, and then it usually ends at around 11. Whoops. Sorry, got you, okay. We also have gold implementation for PBIS the last 2 years, and Janelle Romness, I should go back to Avid. Sandy Kennedy is one of our 5th grade teachers, and she's our Avid lead. She's just been incredibly instrumental in sparking the fire for Avid. We are Avid school-wide, TK through 5th grade. The only staff not trained are new staff members to the campus. So we do really take pride in the fact that our entire staff is avid trained. That's something that we strive for. And then Janelle Romness is one of our 4th grade teachers who has really taken the lead with our PBIS, and she also has just really reinvigorated our staff with the PBIS, and I really do think it shows in our campus-wide culture with student discipline definitely decreased, and just having, again, that continuity of language and staff expectations across campus. Our school goals, they're identical, just switch out ELA for math, but 80% of our students will make at least 1 year's growth by the end of the school year based on the iReady assessment. If they are below grade level, each student will make at least 1.5 years growth by the end of the school year based on the iReady assessment. We really struggled with determining what our goals were going to be for ELA and math, and also used iReady as the same measure that the district uses to just look at a good measure that all students are taking. But in the model of a professional learning community, we truly believe and have worked through a lot within our school culturally to make sure that our staff believes all kids can learn at high levels, which means all students, unless they do not have cognitive ability, can make 1 year's growth and be at grade level. So we are working very hard to ensure that that is happening at all grade levels. And if a student is below grade level, why we say 1.5, as I'm sure you can guess, but if we don't catch them up more than 1 year, they'll always stay behind. So our goal really is to look at those targeted interventions to ensure that kids are making growth.
Melissa, can I ask you really quick?
Yeah.
I know throughout the district in our elementaries, we've got ELA intervention going everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have math intervention going hardly anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Is that accurate at your school as well?
Yes and no. Yes, in the past. This year, what I would say is teachers have really started doing math interventions at their carpet during instruction. So when they complete what we have now called a mini lesson, which is where they do their initial core instruction, when they're walking around seeing students not successful, they will pull kids to the carpet. And then I'll get to it in a little bit too, but we also have implemented what we call best time, which is Bridge Street Essential Standard Time. And that's where we really focus on instruction, tier 1 instruction around students' ability level. So we did start with ELA. So ELA's best is stronger. Math, we have 4 of the 6th grade levels implementing a math best time right now. And that is to really look at what is the essential standard and how are kids going to demonstrate getting there. And then if kids are here at that level, then best time supports them at that level. So you're really targeting interventions to try to support kids in getting proficient at that standard.
So does that mean, sorry, walk me through this like I'm 5.
I know, it is hard without a visual too.
But so if I'm a 3rd grader, but my current level of ELA is 1st grade, for best time, I would be with maybe some other 3rd graders and 1st graders. Like I would be more like, I would get together with people on my current learning level regardless of age.
So they stay within their grade level right now.
Oh, okay.
But they share, all grade levels share kids. Most do 3 to 4 times a day, with our least amount at 2. So during best time, it would be more like looking at a ladder. So like if the essential standard is this standard for 3rd grade, for example, like you had said, if I'm functioning at a 1st grade level, I still need to give kids access to how do I work at that 3rd grade level, but my skills are at 1st grade. So they're doing a lot of skill building at that kid's ability level to get them to understand how to function in a 3rd grade core class around that standard.
But if you have like, 4 different ladder rungs within one classroom, how does that work at best time?
So that's why they switch kids.
Okay, so that would be switching within the grade level.
Yes.
Okay,
so that they can target instruction around that rung of the ladder. Yep.
Good teaching, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I think our teachers are doing a great job. but you can keep asking questions because it is tricky and it was a lot to wrap our minds around. We've been on our PLC path for 4 years now, and we just continue to revise and refine and get stronger. So.
But does that also, like if I'm in 3rd grade level but I'm reading at a 5th grade level, do I also get that best time with, to be challenged?
Yes. Yep, that's the extension.
Okay.
So it's asking those you're asking those 2 questions. Basically, what do I want my kids to know? How will I know they've learned it? What will I do if they did? And what will I do if they didn't? And so that what will I do if they did is where then they move into some kind of extension to extend that standard because they have mastered it.
Okay.
Yeah. So areas of celebration, we've implemented PBIS for 9 years and currently sitting at gold implementation for the last 2 years with silver prior. We've been an avid showcase now for showcase school for 3 years. Our professional learning community implementation around best time and intervention supports, I do believe, is very strong. Yes, we still have room to grow and continue to refine, but I do think we have a very good foundation. Our comprehensive counseling, I skipped one, sorry. Our essential standards are really getting us focused in instruction in ELA, and we're almost done with math. And when I say that, what I mean is that all of the grade levels have developed unit plans and talked with each other about what effective strategies are, how they're going to teach the standards, and then how they're assessing the standards to make sure kids are proficient, both with a pre and a post test. Our comprehensive counseling lessons, I'm really grateful to say that our counselor is in every classroom once a week. We always have Kelso's choices and zones of regulation as units of instruction, and then after that we always go to data. Where is the data showing that our kids need support? So really going back to looking at just referrals. That's easy to understand. So that we can say that this is where that grade level is struggling, or if the counselor meets with the grade level team and the grade level team really feels like this group needs a particular skill. Like right now, 2nd grade, they felt really needed a friendship lesson. So the counselor is now going in to do a 4 to 6 week friendship group, and we're going to see if there's less conflict when they're out in unstructured times for recess. Got to throw in the staff Halloween costume contest. That is a big one at Bridge Street School, and if you are voted as the winner, because staff votes on who has the best Halloween costumes for the adults, it is pride, I'm telling you. So, and then most notably, I think what I would say that really for Bridge Street that I am so incredibly proud of is every staff member at our school is truly focused on our 4 initiatives around PLC, AVID, PBIS, and comprehensive counseling. And it really just makes it so that our ship is really sailing in the same direction. We are just headed in the same direction, and that is truly significant for making sure we make an impact for those kids.
What is PLC again?
That is the professional learning community. So that's the idea that, we as adults working together and learning and growing together are what drives student learning. So areas for refinement, focus, and growth. So I am really happy with our dashboard this year. While I understand that our color may not have gone up, we've made a lot of system change in the last couple of years. And it's not unexpected when we do that to see a dip in our data, and we didn't. And so I'm really proud of that. And even though our color may have gone down or did not increase, we moved the targets in the right direction. So our chronic absenteeism, while it did fall from yellow to orange, we still did decline 0.6%. Our suspension rates declined 1.9%. That arrow did shift. Our EL progress did increase 2%. That also shifted. Our ELA, we did go from red to orange. We recognize we still have a lot of growth to do within ELA and our reading, and our math is at an orange. And we did increase in both of those scores. And I think what I'm really proud of is the state measures us based on only looking at a grade level from year to year. It doesn't look at cohorts of kids, which I think is really valuable because I want to see what one kid can do from across grade levels? Do they keep their learning? Do they grow more? So I am really proud of the fact that our English language arts growth, 79% of our kids showed growth on the SBAC test. So I think that's very good data. And similarly with math, 70% of our kids grew in math. And I also think that that's noteworthy. And I just had this conversation. We just did a celebratory staff meeting today when we did the service pins as well. And like I told the staff, you know, teaching is hard. And I don't think if you're not in education, you recognize how difficult that position is. And we made a lot of really significant systematic changes when we brought in the PLC model because we really believe it to the core. And it really changed what we do as adults working with each other to benefit the kids. And I said that we kept every measure at least maintained. Well, we didn't even maintain. We did grow at, yes, 0.6%, but we grew. So I'm proud of that. And so I told the staff they really need to feel good about the fact that they have managed to implement really difficult change and they have kept the students at the focus, and it's showing in the data. And I'm really proud of that for our staff. We know we still have scores that need to be raised and growth that needs to be made for our students within ELA and math, but I think we're headed in the right direction, really focusing on those essential standards and collaborating around student performance and student data.
I would be interested to see just in the future, especially since your goal is more tied to iReady, what your iReady numbers are.
I know, me too. Like I said, our staff really struggled with what measure to use just because
CASP is so wonderful.
You know, I love it. You know, it is hard when you're looking at an assessment that's given one measure in time. It is hard, and it is hard too when it's an assessment that is, you can't track the effort on the kid's behalf, right? Like when you're giving a fluency passage and you're a teacher sitting down listening to a student read, you know if that child's putting forth their effort. It's measurable, you can see it. Computers are harder, but it is what we have. And so we do have to also, it's part of building that idea that kids have to find value in taking these assessments and that's how they're showing what they're learning. So it's twofold, but it is tricky. So we do look at other measures. We do look at our fluency scores, our core phonics screener, and then in math, we're looking at their CFA assessments. We're identifying the specific skills. We're calling them chicken buckets, funny enough. But what is like that one thing that we really want to make sure kids learn? Like in third grade, for example, they've really got to be solid in their multiplication for math. And really they cannot leave third grade without knowing their multiplication facts. You know, so we're really trying to hone in what is that real need for each grade level.
Melissa, I think it would be really nice, just like, you know, coming off of COVID a couple years back and all that, and I completely agree with you with regards to it would be nice to see the cohorts move because that's the real data, right? But it'd be nice maybe for future, like people who come up and present, maybe seeing that trend of like from 21 on, you know, I mean, obviously none of those kids are with you anymore. They're like ninth grade, those COVID babies. It'd be nice to see like what is the overall trend, because by the time they get to high school, they're going to take the SBAC once? Just once, yeah. Yeah, right? In the 11th grade, and then, but it'd just be nice to be able to see maybe more of a big picture. Wow, because there's like seldom a large majority of kids that move out of school areas, if that makes sense. So maybe it might be, it's just nice to see. Yeah.
And I agree. I think looking at a cohort is much better.
Yeah.
And then attendance. We know we need to work on our attendance. But I'm going to be very honest, and that's one of the things I have in the slide deck. I'm not sure what else to do to get our attendance up without asking for busing. So that's coming, though.
Don't you think there's a huge correlation, though, between chronic absenteeism and...
Well, yeah.
I mean...
You can't learn if you're not there, right?
Right, absolutely.
I kid you not. Yesterday, one of our office specialists goes, "Is that Kaden? What? Is that Kaden?" And on the back of A Street was a kid riding his bicycle on a jump. And I walked out to A Street because, of course, I'm super annoyed, and Mom's out there with him. And I opened the gate, and I'm all, Kaden! And he goes, Mom, hi, Mrs. McIntyre. And I'm like, hey, you're not in school. What? Are you okay? Like, what's going on? And Mom's like, oh, he threw up for a second this morning. And how do you combat that? That's, you want to build value in what Caden comes to school to learn every day, but we have a parent who's not valuing that he's there.
So maybe,
and that's hard. And that's not even tied to the fact that they don't live a mile away.
Well, especially when we spent 2 years telling people that if you sneeze, don't come to school.
And we've worked really hard to not do that. Yeah,
it's hard
I agree. Yeah, but yes, attendance is huge in. It's hard for a teacher. They've designed these lessons, and then a kid misses 3 days. And how do I get that kid caught up so they're in the same place where this other kid is to be able to learn everything they've taught? Right. I know it's tricky, and so I do think absenteeism is huge. And I think
do you have a pretty strong parent group?
We do. Mm-hmm.
So
Our PTO.
Maybe really leaning on them to lean on other parents about the importance.
Here's what I would say. Our PTO is a strong group of parents. Getting other parent volunteers is even hard for them. So it's so interesting that you asked that. When I came 9 years ago, there was no PTO. There was really no parent involvement. That is significantly different. But having all parents feel welcome, if you come to our events, Extravaganza, Movie Night with Santa, the Fall Festival, hugely attended. We do get a lot of people that come for events like that. Then the school will host game night where we offer, pizza and games, craft night, come do crafts with your kids. They'll come for that. But when it comes to, what we're talking about, you don't get a lot of attendance. We just did Mary Pickering, our social worker, just did a class on understanding your child's IEP and how you can advocate for them. We didn't have a huge attendance. We did a class, and I've asked Mary if she would do it again, but we did a class last year on barriers that could be barriers that cause, I can't remember the title, but basically like barriers that cause students or parents to feel disconnected from the school, trying to get their input. Didn't have a high attendance there either. So they come for the fun stuff.
Do you have a lot of parents who are non-English speaking?
Yes, but we have our parent liaison who's very strong with that. We always offer, anytime we have an event, our parent liaison's present for the Spanish speaking because that's our primary. When we know that we're putting something together where we could potentially be having Farsi families come, we always invite a Farsi translator. So we try to remove that barrier.
Yeah, I know. You've got 1,000
parent
kids.
report cards.
Seriously. Do it.
Right?
Yes. No, I do. I know Jen Cates and Justin Cutts had talked one time about the school as a community hub. I don't.
Community partnerships.
Yeah, that's what we need, and we need to get parents to see that of value. And that's what we want our school to be. And I feel like we have the resources to do it. It's just, I don't know what the miss is, to be very honest. I don't know why our parents aren't latching on to what we are offering.
But I do have to say, Melissa, I mean, since you've been there, because this conversation is very different than the conversation when we first started this. So I think celebrating what you guys are doing and the fact that maybe not every parent is engaged or understands,
Right.
you have made a huge difference.
It has. It has. And it has been fun.
See?
I know.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh, that's totally what this is for. So you're fine. So thank you, really, for our PLC coaches in ELA and math. I cannot tell you how instrumental I think the learning of our staff is around collaboration, essential standards, and looking at best practices instructionally and how that is supporting student learning. And then, like I just said, the counseling, the social worker, and the parent liaison supports those, because we want our school to be that community resource and that hub for parents and families. And so we do work to do that for our families. So we really want to thank you for that. Did I say something? What? Oh.
That's his bullet, I told him.
Oh, Scott's?
Yeah. So attendance.
Well, so Mary Pickering and I talk about attendance often. It is, like Miss Pretty said, vital in our student learning. Thank you for that plug-in, Miss Pretty. But it is, and I know we had talked if we could look at those areas. Gray Avenue, for example, has an apartment complex. If we could tag on a couple bus stops to Yuba City High School, for example, just to try to get some of those. I get we're within a mile, but a mile for a little kid is a long way. You know, I wouldn't let a second grader walk a mile, and we're on Bridge Street, and then we're on B Street, and the neighboring streets are busy. Just those highly populated areas, trying to get students to school, but that would be a great support. Just supports in our elementary programs for ELA and math. Coaching's huge. We are very, very lucky at Bridge Street that we just got approved. It hasn't been picked up yet from a county to my knowledge, but we are getting a grant for 3 years for literacy, so we are able to get an ELA coach. But I've also talked with Nick Richter about a math coach, just because I know that individual that is non-threatening, working with teachers, looking at instruction on a very regular basis with a very focused lens is a very different way of working with somebody. And it really is very supportive of instruction. And I've talked with him about even looking at my site budget to see what we could potentially do to give teachers that support, especially as we're bringing in a new math adoption. And then increased collaboration time. So I know you had asked about the PLC, the professional learning community. When we went to our training initially in Vegas, right after we came back from COVID, it was very clear, and I actually asked Anthony Muhammad specifically about the number of hours required to effectively collaborate around student data, and he said at the minimum you have to have 4 hours. And right now we're sitting at just under 2. And Bridge Street staff is awesome, because even on the Wednesdays that are identified for prep, a lot of them will continue to meet in grade level teams around data for collaboration because they see the value in it. But not everybody. I mean, there is prep time needed, and that's why they have it. There's no doubt about it. We're utilizing staff time as best as possible to look at our essential standards and our best practices of instructional routines and strategies, but we would benefit from increased collaboration time for teachers to truly talk around student data and instructional practices.
Can I interrupt you one more time? I'm sorry.
Don't. Okay.
There was a time when we had minimum days as opposed to early release days. And the minimum day there was a lot. I know when I was teaching at the high school, a minimum day had a lot more time built in.
30 minutes.
Than just an hour, which is the early release. And I mean, an hour, the department I used to work in, by the time everybody got there, that would be down to about 20 minutes maybe of actual work time. By the time everybody got there from wherever on campus they are. And I know in elementary they're usually pretty close together, but still, do you think that early release should be put back to minimum days, even if they were less frequent?
I would say anything that gets us to 4 hours would be beneficial. So
In a month?
In a month. So I know at one point, and I get it's all staffing, but I know at one point the reason that we had gone from the 4 days to 2 days was because the PE or the elementary teachers needed prep, which is true. I get, and they do. There's a lot that they prep for sure. It came at the cost of the collaboration, unfortunately. And the idea was that in the future we would have PE aides, so that during PE time it was another spot in time in which you could potentially have collaboration.
Or prep?
Or prep. But then,
you have your collaboration.
no, because they have prep already. So they have one 50-minute prep a week because of PE, because they're not out on duty. But if you, because they have it twice a week, it would reconfigure the PE schedule, but I knew it came back to staffing, which people cost money, and I get that. So, I don't know what the answer is. I just know it's needed for us to really look and continue to push, forward in what we're currently doing in that model of really collaborating around student data and talking about best instructional practices and what we're doing within classrooms to support kids.
Thank you.
Yeah.
How often do you guys, what's the requirement on staff meetings?
On staff meetings, we have 2 a month. One at 60 minutes, one at 75. There aren't, requirements is, well, do they have Keenan? So sometimes there is Keenan. Sometimes there is Keenan. Sometimes there are things that we do have to get done, trainings that have to get done. Like Centegix, for example. It's a new program. Where else are we going to train our staff, right? We've got to take that back to staff meetings. So we try to be strategic. We just mapped out, for example, today we had our PLC coach in from Texas. We mapped out the rest of the staff meeting school years based on what we know we need to do to help get ourselves to where we need to be next year as we roll out our response to intervention for our school. So you have to be strategic. We have to be strategic. Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you.
No? All right. Well, the offer's still up there if anyone wants to come to our Avid Showcase in March. We'd love to see you. Yeah.
Do we need to let you know?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just shoot me an email. I'll just that way I can just add you to a group.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah.
I have it on my calendar.
Oh, great. Are you coming?
Good
I'm not sure. I just want to make sure.
It is on my calendar to be there.
Okay. I will add you to your group. All right. Any other questions?
No. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys.
Thank you. Thanks, Melissa.
Okay. The mid-year LCAP.
Let's get into it.
That was way more exciting than talking about what I'm
Why go first?
Although I do have my new Centegix badge.
Don't click it.
Don't click it.
I won't click it.
What happens if you click it?
It'll go off. And
So you click walk
Police
through, yeah.
here. Depends on
how many times you click it.
So 3 is like a low level incident. Like say you have an elopement.
Are you trying to get out of your presentation?
8. Yes. Yes I am.
We're trying to get out of his Prius.
Bring it on.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm sorry. I'm
think it's
just
kind of
sorry
trouble
that
with the
I
budget,
said
too.
that. That was so rude. It was so rude of me.
Yeah, no, it's
Forgive me.
not.
Jelly.
No, it's not at all. I really appreciate you guys' lovely support for it. So some of these slides.
It's really very cool.
Some of these slides you guys have seen last year, so some of them are kind of redundant, so I'll go through them pretty quickly, and then some of them, we'll talk about some new items, like Melissa mentioned growth data. So I'll talk about that, about our growth data in ELA math in our district, and then just go over some highlights and some areas of growth, and then at the end I'll talk about where we currently are. I do have some data on our 3-year data from COVID to now, which I think is kind of cool to look at. I'll end with our current expenditures for LTAP, and then end with any questions. So,
Thank
and you can ask us any
for the agenda.
questions.
That was good.
Thank you.
Good
And you can ask us any questions as well as you guys go on. This is the basic dashboard. It's a report card, fun colors. Red's not good. The best one is blue. And then in between is where we want to get to. So that's kind of the roadmap to higher performance. And, it's a snapshot with our CAST data. Like I mentioned, it is a report card. It focuses on our state priorities. It informs our budget. It's directly correlated with our LCAP. It pulls data from CalPAD, which pulls data from our ARI system. So there's a lot of interconnection with our systems in our district. And it's an inclusive plan, our LCAP. But most of it's based on our dashboard data. On the left-hand side, we have 8 state measures, which you guys have seen over and over again. Nothing's changed with that. The only difference would be science is reported, but it's not an accountability measure yet. So we can't put in any differentiated assistance or support based on our science scores. It's only informational right now. On the right-hand side, the bottom right, is our indicators. Those are self-reported indicators. I talked about this last year. These are the 14 groups that are represented. We obviously have all these 14 groups in our district. One of the newest ones on the bottom, I'll talk about briefly later, is our long-term English learners. That's a new cohort of students that are reported. What's new? I kind of mentioned a couple of these things already. The California Science Test is just given a numeric score. It's not for accountability. So each year, our teacher assignments. So teacher assignment monitoring is reported on a couple places. I'm not going to bore you to death with the acronyms. CalSAS is a system we use, but it's reported on our SARC, our school accountability report cards. And now it's going to be reported on our dashboard. So basically what that's talking about is any teachers who are not fully credentialed. So if you have teachers on STIPs, PIPs, or interns, those are identified as not fully credentialed. So those are part of the reporting system now in the dashboard. So those are some updates. Another one which I really like is we have a college and career indicator, and previously the AP would just count the AP test score, but now they've included actually passing with a C or better. So you can either pass the AP test with a 3 or better, or you can pass the course, and there's indicators within that criteria. That's actually good for us, for our school district. Because some kids don't take the test, but they get a C or better in the course, which is, they should get recognized for that. We should get recognized for that. And then mentioning, Melissa mentioned it in her presentation, the academic growth data. It is only for 4th through 8th grade, because those are the only years we can actually measure year to year. Because after 8th grade, there's a 3-year break before they take the CASP, so we can't see it from there. There's no kids taking the state tests 9th or 10th grade. It's only 3rd through 8th and then 11th grade. So here's just our state indicators. You can see, obviously, areas for growth, some nominal growth in some areas, and some great growth in other areas. ELAs, first one I want to mention. So marginal increase in 0.8. If you see the top right, 2.2 points would have got us to a yellow. Last year was a little anomaly. We had a school that, so parents can opt out students from the test. Mm-hmm. And so when you opt out students from the test, that actually counts heavily against the district and the school. Because just because the kids opt out or the parents opt out, it actually doesn't mean that doesn't count. It actually goes against you. All those scores count as not met, which if you have a lot of students do that. So we had at one of our schools, 36 kids opt out. These 36 are probably our highest performers. And so that does actually have an effect on your score. So it affects the school score significantly depending on the cohort number. So this school, I think, had a little over 320 kids in their senior cohort. And this was an anomaly. This is the only year this number of students actually did that, but it had an impact on the school, and then it directly impacts our district dashboard.
Which school was that?
River Valley? Yeah. So you had, go ahead.
But it seems counterintuitive that would be, so we're just kind of, I'm so sorry for lack of a better word because my words are gone. We're just kind of bending over and taking it instead of saying, well, hey, this is actually not a fair standard. Just because you opt out of a test, you shouldn't automatically, especially in this case, be given an F or a 0. It would just be like, here's the average, right, of all the students that took the exam.
Yeah. This
is as opposed to people who opt out for very good reasons.
Yes.
Personally,
So there's a participation rate which is 95%. So for math, for science, and for English, you really have to meet 95%. Anything below that, each one that's below that is counted as a not met. So all of our K-8 schools are 95% or above. Last year, Yuba-Sutter High School did not meet the 95%. Obviously, River Valley had a dip because of a large number of opt-outs, and then YCAA had a slight dip in the participation rate. That doesn't mean we don't have issues with our ELA math. I'm just saying last year specifically there was a higher number of opt-outs. Yeah.
Can I ask a quick question? On that test for the 11th graders, does it still count when the kids take that test if they're going to a state college or university where they don't have to take that entrance exam for ELA and math?
For the CSUs, they do look at that for the CSUs, but not as much as it did. It's really a hard incentivizing tests for senior
Yeah,
for
if you're
juniors.
not getting some, yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the challenges we see. It's the kids who are in K to 8. They're more apt to take it seriously because they're not as old as the kids in high school. But it does actually double ding. I'll get to that in a minute. Like when we get to the college and career indicator, part of being either college ready or career ready, there's combinations. So you can get a 3 or better in the AP test, and if you get met or proficient on the CASP, you count as ready, prepared.
Right.
But if you don't do well on the CASP, but you have the AP scores, it actually counts you as not prepared. So it's kind of an interesting system the way they have it
Right.
delineated.
Are we still using before I retired, the district decided to give the seniors the science test?
That's currently the juniors. They do the
Moved
junior.
it away from seniors?
Yeah, so the
Because
junior.
I could not imagine a group prepared less.
Seniors didn't really want to take the science
Okay,
test.
right.
Now, granted,
I mean, my
there's
AP students took it in 10 minutes.
yeah, that's the count. Yeah, and that's not counted yet numerically. They're still working some kinks out with that test.
Okay.
There's arguments on both ways because if you take it senior, you probably at least for sure you've completed 3 years of science. But yet on the other side, the motivation for some of the seniors wasn't quite
Zero.
maybe.
Well, and even the types of science vary that they're taking,
Yes.
and then you can't possibly have a standardized test that's going to be like contoured down to the student and what they've learned.
And that's why they haven't put it for. It doesn't count yet for accountability because of that exact point.
Yeah, I just don't like that word that you used yet.
It will. No, it's going to happen.
Oh, it's going to happen.
Yeah, it's going to happen this year or the next year.
Of course it is.
ELA, this is what Melissa mentioned at her site. This is our district ELA growth. So this is where I think is pretty cool. Like a lot of our kids are making growth year to year from 4th to 8th grade. And so when you contrast that with the previous slide, it makes it feel a little better because our kids aren't just like not growing from. Now they might not make it to proficiency, but year to year the kids seeing growth in ELA. And it's really cool that our students with disabilities and our foster youth had the biggest growth in ELA last year from the previous year.
What is this color? What does that mean? Number of students, the equity report, and the colors. What is that?
So when you go to the dashboard and you break it down, it actually shows you they have it delineated by which groups make the most growth, and so you can break it down on the dashboard. And it shows you. I think for exceptional, I have to go back to that slide, Kirsten. I think that one was that was a specific subgroup.
Like what's fuchsia and what's?
Yeah, so they have it broken down by they have a measurement, like a calibration of how many points away from standard you grow, which meets that category.
Oh, I see. So it's not like students with disabilities is fuchsia. It's just.
No, those are student groups. So the 14 student groups I mentioned before, right here.
Yes.
All of those are counted in those categories. So these are all the student groups counted in California. We have obviously the ethnicity, but we also have the specific like EL group, English learners, foster, students with disabilities.
And everybody fits into one of these categories.
Yes.
Or more.
Yes. Math. Here's the math scores. Stay in the orange. Like I said, if we would have had 3 more points, we would have been in the yellow. So we're definitely making incremental. We're actually making growth. And then with our math growth, with our 4th through 8th graders, it was 64%. Students with disabilities and economically disadvantaged saw the highest gains, 4th through 8th grade per student, which I think once again is pretty awesome. Science, we mentioned, doesn't account for accountability. And when I say accountability, school districts go through differentiated assistance, meaning the county or the state, they help support you based on your scores. And so if you have any categories that are in the red over time, you qualify. I like to use that word, qualify. You qualify for differentiated assistance, where you work with either the county or a state consortium to come alongside and help you with planning. This was awesome. We made significant growth in our EL progress. Students who are making growth towards English proficiency. I shouted out Yuba-Sutter High School. They made 23% gain last year. That's huge. They're in the blue. But we're getting close. We're actually getting really close to getting to the blue on that. So the work we've been doing around integrated and designated ELD in the classroom is really counting towards that.
So can we like put all of the students in the EL English learning prior? I'm just saying, when you're like learning a foreign language, right? You're learning what, part of like present participles are, and, past participles, and, the age.
You're speaking our English,
parts of
me and
speech,
Shelley, English teachers here, we're driving with you.
Yeah, thank you. But when you're learning a foreign language, you have to learn future tense, future perfect, pluperfect, all of that, right? But I'm just saying, isn't there a case to be made that we teach English to our English? I mean, look, all of us are English learners. I understand that, I'm changing it, but in all honesty, nobody's not learning English. See, even me, and just what I just did there, right? Everybody is learning English, right? I don't know, because there's something that we're capturing, because this is a standard story we get with who are you again? The LCAP. I'm so tired. The LCAP, but we're also get with our showcases, right? With our various showcases, the English learners are really grasping it, and they're doing better, at least for this wonderful test that we all agree is highly useful.
So in this one, they're taking the LPAC. So these are students who are EL students. They're taking the LPAC and they're getting reclassified as fluent English proficient.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what this one indicates.
So maybe there are some people that speak English as their primary language, right? But their knowledge of the English language makes them more categorically LPAC. I'm not being funny.
No, I know. I'm tracking.
Just because you speak maybe a language doesn't mean you know it.
I think some of the stuff you're alluding to is we do have specific designated English classes, designated ELD classes where they work on specific English skills, like you just mentioned, like past participles, parts of speech, syntax. So there are those specific classes actually work with newcomers. They have ELD 1, ELD 2, ELD 3, and ELD 4 students. So it's very more differentiated in the instruction. So I think that's probably a big component to that, is they're getting specific.
Okay, and so then are you saying that this test, that the English learners, which I hate using that word because y'all, we all are English learners, but English as a second language learners, they are getting a different test than everybody else.
Yeah, so this is...
Well, that's not right. That's not equitable.
Well, no, they still.
They still take the CASP.
But they take a different CASP.
No, they take the same CASP.
But they take a different English CASP.
No. We have the CASP, we have English, math, everybody takes that. If you're students with disabilities, you might have some alternative
these ones take an additional test.
This is the LPAC to reclassify them in a different classification for learning.
Oh my gosh, I'm here now. Thank you, President.
Hey Tina, when you talked about that we qualify for differentiated assistance, can you repeat that one more time?
So it's called we have different assistance. So if you have specific student groups that are landing in the red consistently over time, that's indicating there's an issue with that group not making accelerated growth. And so the county, whether you're in Placer County or Sutter County, whatever county you're in, has a responsibility, and so does the state, to support that school district. So that's what differentiated assistance is. So we work with Sutter County and CCEE. Specifically on suspension improvement. If you see over time, we have specific groups being suspended over time, the same groups.
So for us, is it looked at as a district or is it looked at per school?
Both.
Okay.
Yeah. So district-wide, you have a support,
Uh-huh.
and then each school is placed in a specific category based on their what student groups land in the red.
Their dashboard.
In the dashboard.
Okay.
And some don't. Some aren't in it.
Sure.
At all.
And then who's responsible for the charter schools that that are authorized under us? Is that also through the county? Is
That'd
that
be the
state
county.
level?
Yeah.
Is that
That's
district
county.
level?
County.
Yeah, county and state.
So
thank you.
We're
Twin Rivers, for example, they would, because of their
Yeah,
they wouldn't have to qualify.
but YCIA came not too long ago, and year over year we saw some of their data.
And they're in assistance.
Okay.
Yeah, for chronic absenteeism.
Cool. So am I crazy, but do we financially benefit from people groups that stay in the red?
Financially benefit? No.
This is differentiated assistance, it's
No.
not compensation.
Oh, it's not like
No.
giving additional resources to help us get them into
Some
the
schools
order?
actually do get support through different grants based upon eligibility around the
Oh, for
state.
for CSI you would. So the only one you would get beneficial gain would be CSI, which is this federal funded money. The other two categories, TSI and ATSI, aren't connected to any funding at all. You just get help through the county or the state.
For free.
I'm sure somewhere they're
There's money
being
coming in,
paid.
it's not coming to us.
Okay.
we get our funding for LCAP based on our number of unduplicated students.
Okay.
Which are foster, homeless, EL. Those students drive the money we get for LCAP. I mentioned graduation rate. So we have it at 83.9, and there's a little tad misleading. It is a district, but our two comprehensive sites are higher than that. I mentioned on the right-hand side, Yuba-Sutter High School is almost at 90%. River Valley High School is nearing 84%. But we do have a number of kids we mentioned that go to Albert Powell and they take the HiSET equivalency credential, and that doesn't count. It counts for the kids. They get a credential when they leave, but they still do count as high school dropouts.
So dumb.
And that still does count against our dashboard. So I'm actually proud of that program.
Yes.
I want to put as many kids as we can in there who aren't going to graduate because at
Right.
least they leave with something tangible.
Yeah. I can't believe that counts against us. It's lame.
But we are making steady growth on our graduation rate. So our goal is to get it. Ideally, you want to get it past to 95%. You want to graduate as many kids as you can.
Last year, I know we talked a little bit about the kids who graduate early, right? And how that's not captured.
That's captured. They're captured in their cohort.
Okay.
So they're always captured in their cohort.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then what about our sped kiddos that go to 22? Or could go to 22?
They would be counted if they graduate.
Okay.
Yeah.
But,
In their cohort.
so it would be like backdated?
Yes. I don't know about backdated.
Because, I mean, if they graduated, should have
They'd
graduated.
be
in cohort,
there's actually a
they
5 and a 6 year cohort too. So they actually be counted in whatever. So if we have a 5th year EL student or a SPED student, they're counted in the 5th year graduation cohort.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Got you.
Yeah.
Not what they would have been.
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you.
And we have that every year with 5th year graduates.
Cool.
Not a lot, but we do have them, and it counts in the 5th year cohort. I briefly mentioned this. There's this. I actually really like this one. They have. If you're prepared for college, you're prepared for career. So a lot of our kids go to the military. They go to the workforce. So a lot of those kids are in our CTE programs, which is awesome. So they learn like a trade or a skill, like welding, auto mechanics, whatever the CTE course would be. We also have our kids who want to go to the AP student, the kids who want to go to college right away, UC, CSU, or community college. It does measure that. The dashboard does measure kids who do a variety of things, basically. So if you look up here for college, so for example, if I am at River Valley High School and I'm taking two college courses and I do a 3 or better on the CASP, I am prepared for. I count as prepared for college. If I'm over here on this side and I complete a CTE pathway and I'm in military science or leadership, I count as prepared for college. So they do have a good way to count kids who are involved in a lot of things. So you don't have to be taking all the AP courses. You don't have to be taking all the college courses to be prepared on this indicator, which is what they're actually aiming for. So we have a lot of kids who don't take those courses and who do CTE or who do like ROTC, and they count just as well. So it's actually pretty great that they have that. And they keep evolving this each year. So like this year now, the AP kids who get C's or better count versus just taking the test and getting a 3 or better. And that's our current one. We actually see this. I see this in the next 2 to 3 years being at least to the blue. Because we're having an increasing number of kids take college courses like exponentially, and a lot more kids taking AP courses. And now even if they're not taking the test, because most of our kids who take AP courses are actually getting C's or better. The testing thing is a whole different discussion. They should, I think, all be taking the test because we pay for it. So they should take the test and take that risk and take that academic growth and grit. But I do see us steadily making gains in this area.
If the students take the college course, like dual enrollment, am I saying that right?
Yeah.
Okay. They're dual enrolled in a college course. you're saying they should also take the AP test in that same course?
No. So that they're two different things. So,
Right.
for example, my daughter's going to be a sophomore next year. This is actually surprising. We went to Red Robin last night, and we were debating her schedule next year because I'm a parent. I want to see what she's going to take. So she wants to take AP Euro. So AP Euro, she's going to be a sophomore, and AP Euro is one of the hardest AP tests in high school. It is a brutal test. But if she passes that test with a 3 or better, if she wants to go to, let's say, Davis or Sac State, that'll articulate into college credit. So there's one way you can do it is the AP test. The other way, which people would argue might be more guaranteed, would be to take World History 5A at Sierra College or Yuba College. You pass the course with a C or better, you get automatically 3 credits, and they're automatically transferable.
And into more colleges than just UC colleges.
So I guess it's like the timeless debate, right? Like which one's better? I don't know if it's better. It's just different.
Yeah.
Because they give you different options.
Mm-hmm.
Like at the high school level, I would tell kids if you're math focused and STEM focused, take AP Pre-Calc, take AP Calculus.
Yeah.
Because those are some of our most. Our AP Pre-Calc course in our high schools is super popular right now. We have tons of sections of it. But I would also say, if you're going to take AP European History, nationally the pass rate's not super high. And so if I could take World History 5A, that might be more palatable.
Yeah.
So it's just options and just looking at different opportunities.
The state colleges didn't used to accept the AP exam. Like you could take the AP class, but you go to Sac State, they give 2 rips if you took the AP test or not. It didn't change. Is it still that way?
No, it's not like that anymore. So what you have to do, like I did with my daughter last night, is we looked at she doesn't know what colleges she's going to, but she has some ideas. So I said, hey, let's look at the colleges to see, do they take that course? Do they give you credit if you get a 3 or better? Because if you go to UC Davis, you have to get a 4 or better on the AP Lang test. So even if you get a 3, they want to actually see a 4. So you just have to kind of work with your counselor and then actually do your research on what they accept.
Right. They're all different.
Yeah. But I do think any kid should take at least one AP course or one college course in high school just to get that experience, to see that they can do it.
Yeah.
Even if you don't pass even if you get a 2 on the AP test, I still think that helps you grow tremendously.
My son was like, there's no way I'm taking that AP test. I don't need to, and I'm not taking it.
I loved AP. It was so fun.
He took the AP class, but
One
did
of my
not
favorite
take
courses
the
to
test
teach.
because he didn't need to.
Yeah.
It's just weird.
But you don't get college credit for taking the class. You only get it if you take the test.
Not at the states back then. Not at Sac State back then.
You definitely have to take the test and pass it with a 3 or better.
Mm-hmm.
And then determining if you want to go like Harvard, they're probably accepting 5s. So you just have to know which college you want to go to, what the entrance is.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think for a lot of those, if you get a 3, you don't have to take the college's preliminary, like English.
That could be that.
Like, I didn't have to take the English when I was in Santa Cruz because they're like, you got a 3. And I was like, cool. So I just got pushed. I saved a year of English.
See, those are the things that you got to really
And that's,
really
I
look
think,
at.
what a lot of students do usually.
Because they don't have those, like at the junior colleges, they don't have those remedial courses anymore. Like some students would have to go to the college and take like pre-algebra, elementary algebra, intermediate algebra, then finally, yay, now I can take college algebra after 3 courses that don't count for anything. Now they've gone away with that. You go right in the stats, you go right to college algebra. The next one is chronic absenteeism. Actually, same as your slide, 0.6%. So it did decrease. Yeah. Honestly, since COVID, it's been decreasing every year. And so I think I'll show in the next slide, and a couple of slides from now, we're at about 14% right now, like mid-year, based on our chronic. And this only counts for K-8. Actually, TK-8. It does not count for high school or middle school. High school. And it's challenging sometimes. It counts for TK-8, so, when you have new TK kids, that's tough with some of the absenteeism, just they've never been to school before. And so that doesn't do us justice on that. Suspension rate, we've talked about this before. You guys see, but we have some of our expulsions. We do want to see this. We have a lot of groups in this red. This is why we're working on differentiated assistance to really look at those groups. Some of those groups that we see predominantly a lot of students with disabilities have been a consistent theme over the past years on suspensions.
And these are unduplicated student groups, or
yes, they only count once. So if you're suspended once, it counts once. So if a student's suspended 5 times, we don't want that, obviously.
so I can't be white and a foster youth and an English.
No, it counts once.
Okay.
And then I shouted out Bridge too, just in case you guys decreased. Even greater.
Tina, does this take into account in school suspension too, or is it coded differently?
Anything that's coded with a suspension,
Okay.
it counts. This is just a comparison with Sutter County in California. We're about almost at Sutter County, kind of getting even with them. And this is comparison to 22 similar districts. And I can send you the list. You want to see the list? It basically looks at our enrollment. It looks at our unduplicated count and how many kids are on free and reduced lunch. So it kind of gives you a comparable demographic to look at. I mentioned this when Jasmine asked me the question. These are just some of the areas you can land a differentiated assistance with. And these are our specific groups that have landed us to get to be eligible for that. Moving on to the mid-year LCAP update. This is a requirement. Every mid-year, a school district has to do a brief update on the LCAP. So I actually thought this was actually kind of interesting to show you guys. Just since 22-23. Before that, they had a different way you measured it. It was the cell, like the cell phone, like little bars on the cell phone. Mm-hmm. So you have like the small to the high. That's how they measured it before. So it was really not easy to like include that in this because it changed from the cell phone bars to the colors. And so this is just counting the last 3 years, just based on how they measure it now. Because it would have been confusing to have the cell phone bars and then the colors because it wasn't the same. So that's why I didn't show the previous years. And the 19 and 20 was a total anomaly year because that was the COVID year. Mm-hmm. But it does show that we definitely have, I think, just looking at our data, ELA and math is definitely our focus academically. Other areas I feel like chronic absenteeism you've seen has gotten better. Our grad rate increases each year, and that should be we want to eventually be at 95% in the blue. College and career will continue to increase. We do want to see our suspension rate decrease. I think there's a balance to that because we do have some challenging student behaviors where you do a lot of interventions with the students, and there's some instances where you do have to suspend students.
Yeah.
And so that's just
absolutely
factual. And our highest, so we're at about 3% right now as of last week, overall suspension rate. And our highest number of suspensions is in our middle school grades, and specifically 8th grade is the highest grade right now we have for suspensions. And so I'm hoping that kind of stays at that level.
Well, I mean, of the other, there's so many more indicators that I think deserve our focus.
Yeah.
As long as our people are, and I feel like we're getting that feedback, are well trained and they're constantly trying new things and the PBIS, et cetera, people have to be held accountable, and that's one of those learning situations. There's consequences for actions, and I would hate for our well-qualified and trusted administrators or teachers to be given the idea that because of a number we don't want to hold students accountable for their poor choices.
Yeah, we definitely hold them accountable. Our suspension rate's high.
A couple years ago we talked about how Albert Powell, they have that October break. We were trying to I think you had brought it up too. It'd be interesting to see the correlation between the uptick in suspension based on the month, right? And
I can get that data. I have that.
Well, no, I'm just saying, I'm just throwing it out there. Maybe if we need to think outside of the box a little bit when we're developing these calendars, right, for the academic year, how can we, it's a give take, because when you take a break, then you might have more absenteeism naturally, so you might see, it might go like this, but maybe there's a correlation year over year based on, kids can't go from August to November without a large break. Maybe we do need to try that out and put an October break in or something. I don't know. I'm just throwing things out there that it'd be cool to take a look at.
It's actually been more favorable This past year, working with Heather and the calendar committee, this year has actually been highly more favorable than the previous years. The I think it's in September or like beginning of October break. So I think that's something that's definitely something to look at next year.
Yeah.
And the challenge with that too, though, just is it's like a double whammy. Actually, no, it's actually whammies all of these things.
Yeah.
Because it counts against our chronic absenteeism. That doesn't mean the kids who are suspended for 5 days. That's automatically 5 days out of their 10. And then they're missing. So, for example, if I'm a River High School student and I'm suspended for 5 days, I'm missing 10 days of instruction. And because they're on a block schedule, and so it has significant impacts on the actual academics.
But even if it's in-school suspension, they're counted as absent.
No, but they're not in the class with their English teacher doing the instruction.
Right, I understand that fallout.
But yes. Yeah, it's a. But most our suspensions now, because of changes in ed code, are mostly because of like significant fighting, mutual combat kind of stuff. So those
which when happens in the classroom has fallout in the sense that when that's going on, not only is that student not learning and the student they're fighting not learning, but everybody in the class who's being distracted or by the poor behavior are also not learning.
Yeah. So I don't have a silver bullet to that one, but just
figure it out.
I'm on it. This is super exciting. This is more like Scott's, what Scott likes to talk about. So I'll take some. Numbers. This is our current revenue where we're at, and a lot of this is some of this is encumbered. So like if you look at goal 2, we still have our third PD day, which is coming up in March 13th, and that still has to be paid out through the LCAP. So that's like 900-something thousand. So
one PD day is $1 million.
It's around that.
What are y'all doing? Like going to Vegas or?
No, the PD day is all the.
Would it improve or?
No, it's all the. It's since they're added day, the 3 added days to the teacher's calendar. Their actual full work day. So that's their salary and benefits. Yeah, for all their certificate and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. But it might not be exactly 9, but it's in that. It's in that.
I was like, who is the keynote speaker?
Yeah.
My God.
It's a really high-profile keynote speaker.
Yeah. Holy cow.
It's great.
Oh, I heard. And we still have timesheets, athletics, stipends that haven't been paid out, and there's still a lot of things that have to be paid out. So we're actually on track pretty well to spend out our LCAP money this year.
It's like, oh my gosh, our royal family coming.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to rush you off this slide, but
no, you're fine.
This one's about questions.
Yeah.
My basic question to you is, what is the easiest, sweetest, lowest hanging fruit to improve our LCAP scores?
I would say, like you mentioned earlier, I would say math. I think we need more direct support in math with our K-8s. So I would say that would look like, so we have a pretty robust intervention teacher program with our K-8s for ELA. And obviously you have to be a strong reader to be able to do math, so there's that direct correlation with literacy and numeracy. But I would say we need a more focus. I would agree with Melissa said, a more focused, intentional focus on math coaching and intervention with the kids in math. In addition to what we're doing with our kids in ELA. I think I'm not a multiple subject teacher. I was a single subject teacher. But I think more PD in math for the K-8s to provide more strategies and math confidence.
Well, I mean, I know quite a few elementary school teachers who they themselves aren't the most comfortable with math. Like if we're both math third grade teachers and she's stronger in math than me, I'm loudly to switch them over to her while I take her kids for English. But now she's fighting because she doesn't want it either. So you see what I'm saying? It's like,
Shelley, there's a requirement though, if I'm not mistaken, with multiple subject credits.
oh, I know it's a requirement. It just doesn't mean I'm
totally. But if there's a way to, like team teachers, right? You have to have the kids for 2 periods in order to, for 2 different subjects, I think, right? Choose different subjects. So,
right.
And that brings up co-teaching too. That's one of our goals in our LCAP is we're re-looking at our co-teaching model and doing retraining and kind of a re-visioning of our co-teaching.
So Tina, the standards, they got updated, right?
The math?
Yeah.
So the framework, the standard is the same.
Sorry.
The framework got updated, yeah.
A couple years ago now, right? Have they come out with new curriculum? Because I know we were using.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Go Math,
Swan.
right?
Yeah.
And
Swan Math.
Swan.
We're piloting curriculum now. So yeah,
Okay.
it came out in November. They had like the publishers
Yeah.
went through the whole
I
vetting
remember
process with
Swan
CDE. They approved tons of, gosh, like what, 60, at least 60 publishers. And then you kind of got to vet out through that because some of them are very like specific to like a STEM academy or.
And I think
Yeah.
you guys do a phenomenal job because when I worked for YCSD, I was part of the math adoption committee too. And so it'll be interesting to see once we go through that adoption, whatever the teachers decide, it'll be interesting to see like what the difference is between what we're using right now versus the new curriculum. Are they going towards something that offers more visuals, right? Are they offering
More manipulatives.
more manipulatives or whatever? Like, I mean, Go Math has great kids, but like it'll be interesting to see when they use those if it's easier to apply and the kids are responding better.
And it's a tough one because there's a distinct pedagogical difference in approaching teaching mathematics with a shift in the new frameworks, which I think the curriculum piece is important because you want to have a standardized essential standards and scope and sequence.
Yeah.
But then you have like what's different in the actual first instruction with grouping, differentiation, the best time, like when you have kids in different groups, how you scaffold that. So I think that's where the real development and magic has to happen. Otherwise, it'll be just another textbook.
Right. Oh, is it a textbook?
Well, no,
Like
I mean-
with paper and everything?
It will have paper. And it will have supplemental math support too.
You know it does.
Yeah.
Pencil,
Is it-
paper.
Is it possible if I could connect with you to see what different options we're
Absolutely.
piloting?
Yeah.
For that, that'd be interesting.
We
to
can
see.
totally geek out on some math. I'm down.
Math and science are my first love.
Go.
Thank you guys.
That's all I
If you guys
got.
have any more questions, I really appreciate your time.
I've just written down
Thank
12.
you, Tino.
Thank you.
Thank you. Did I break my time
Awkward
line?
laughter. Thank you.
Moving on, are there comments from the public on items not on the agenda?
Instead of in the 14 different categories. I would be curious to
Okay,
see.
consent agenda, there were questions?
Yes. I would like to go to contracts. I just had a question on something that I saw. Contracts and agreements, D. CD, it's for AK. I was curious. CDW Government Incorporated Chromebooks for after school program. We already have a 1-to-1 Chromebook. Why are we spending?
Oh, these are for the younger kids that don't have one-to-one.
Oh, they're
It's only 3rd to 12th grade. These are the kids that don't have them.
so we're doing after school Chromebooks for kindergartners, 1st grade, and 2nd graders.
And 3rd graders. And for kids who forgot them.
And these stay at the school? Or
Yeah,
do-
they're in Chromebook cards.
Why are we putting young kids like that on Chromebooks?
So they have different activities they do for intervention and support. So they have different like math activities, different English activities, and stuff like that.
Okay, but they're not. But so these supports that we're doing after school are not teacher driven or tutor driven, like a human. It's like putting them in front of a screen.
So they have, if you go to that, and if you guys want to visit after school program, it's pretty fun. They have like academic time. Well, they have snack, academic time, enrichment time, physical activity time, recess. But the Chromebooks are for like any sort of extension activities. So sometimes we have kids who do. It'll lead to what I'm about to get to in the action item. They do full mind tutoring, and it's virtual, and so they need. And it's actually gotten very, very good reviews from the families, but that would be some of the stuff they would use it for when they have. We don't have certificated teachers in after school program.
We also have Chromebooks in Lincoln Elementary
That's for after school too.
for ELOP.
Yeah.
So
After school, same thing.
okay. So we've got $30,000 that we're spending on Chromebooks for kindergartners, 1st grade, 2nd grade, 3rd graders.
This is all coming out of ELOP.
It's all coming from ELOP, and just the ELOP funding is a totally different funding. It's a restricted funding that has no. It's a totally separate funding, so it has no bearing on. Yeah.
I don't care about. I'm not talking about the funding. I just think that is not the That's not the way young kids learn like that.
A lot of it's also enrichment though, because they're there. Some of those kids are there for a bit of a time, so they have enrichment activities, like math games they can play, ELA games, because they have to keep those kids. Some of those kids are there for like 4 hours, so they got to keep.
So
like,
you gotta put a
different-
screen in front of them, otherwise.
No, they keep different activities though. So they'll do like snack, recess, play, PE. They'll do that for like 20 minutes, like some sort of like math game. Then they'll go to their academic homework club. We have art support now. We have culinary support in our school program where they can make like food.
Right.
Lots of options.
Yeah, that's awesome. I just,
We just had kids who didn't have any. The program didn't have any access for students to do that. They just were requesting it.
a program didn't have any access for students
For
to.
Chromebooks. They don't have any Chromebooks.
So previously, they were doing all of their educational stuff with paper and pencils and books. Because there is a part of, we've been doing the after-school program for a while, right?
Yes, we
Enrichment, et cetera. So for kindergarten, first, second, third graders who didn't have a one-to-one.
It's not really. Honestly, it's not really kindergarten. It's really like first and second grade. Kinders aren't really using these. It's really the first and second graders.
Okay.
Yeah.
So previously at the after-school program for first and second graders, until we approved this, they were just
They didn't
doing
really have,
what for
They
education?
didn't really have. Well, they have their books and stuff. Their homework books. Their
Okay.
supplementary resources.
All right, Madam President, with your permission, I would like to take these separate.
I make a motion to approve all the others with the exception of D.
Second.
Second.
On a motion by Member Domi, second by Member Lamb. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing
Aye.
none, motion carries. Okay, moving on to D.
I would like to make a motion that we approve all contracts with the exception of Chromebooks for the after-school program for those listed, AK and Lincoln.
With the word that way.
Is there a second? No? Okay.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
Do other schools have Chromebooks for their after school program?
Not all the schools yet.
Okay, but some of them do for their young kids?
Yeah.
Okay. I make a motion we approve D.
I'll second it. Okay, so there was a motion to approve everything except the Chromebooks for the after-school program. That failed. And a motion by Member Jami and a second by Member Pretty to approve D as fully stated. All those in favor?
I should do a roll call. Just because we have.
Yeah, let's do that. Motion by Member Dami, second by Member Pretty, and then can we roll call please?
We have Member Ciociola,
Nay.
Member Domi,
Yes.
Member Lamb,
Yes.
Member Quilty,
Yes.
Clerk Bonslet,
Yes.
Vice President Pretty,
Yes.
President Carr.
Yes. Alright, motion carries. Right. Moving on to action. Item A, expulsions, suspended contracts,
I
revisions.
move that we approve based as we discussed in closed.
Second.
Can you take this one, roll call? I just need to abstain. Not abstain, I don't know. I wasn't there for the talking, so I need to do one of those.
On a motion by Member Pretty, second by Member Quilty, roll call please.
Member Ciociola,
Aye.
Member Domi,
I abstain?
Member Lamb,
Recuse. Sorry.
Member Quilty,
Yes.
Clerk Bonslet,
Yes.
Vice President Pretty,
Yes.
President Carr.
Yes. Motion carries. Item B, employment contract for the superintendent.
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
On a motion by Member Domi, second by Member Zula, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. C, full line tutoring agreement.
This past year, we've been using a resource called Full Mind Tutoring. So just some background information. So for our K-8 schools, this is mostly for K-8 schools. We have some schools that do after-school intervention with teachers. So some of our teachers from, not all of our schools, it's voluntary, but we do have a number of teachers who do after-school tutoring for kids. So that's like our first intervention after school for kids. But there are some sites that don't have that opportunity. Not for anyone's fault, just because it's a voluntary thing. So to provide additional opportunities for kids to get tutoring, and it is virtual tutoring. We've been using FullMind, and it's been actually very successful. We have 277 kids currently using it. The way we have it, it's mostly for ELA and math, and I put this on the Friday letter. Those are the two biggest cohorts of students. But we're running out of licenses right now, and this is just to continue this year till the end of May. So this is using a one-time money, the Learning Recovery Emergency Block Grant. It was written in the LCAP, so it's in the plan. But staff's looking to get approval to get more licenses to finish the tutoring for this year.
Because schools have waiting lists currently, don't they?
Yeah.
Waiting list for tutoring, for virtual tutoring, or for human?
This is for virtual tutoring. So this is when the kids go home.
It's a human though, right?
Oh yeah, it's a teacher.
On a screen?
Yeah.
But for that's like
Specific
one-on-one?
student, yeah.
It's live.
Mhm.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
we also offer it for multiple languages, Farsi, Spanish. They have tons of languages they offer.
So what makes you say, what's the key performance indicator where you say it's been hugely successful?
Well, we looked at, I can send that to you guys. We looked at all the data from the kids who are enrolled in it, and looked at one of their metrics was the iReady, looking at a local indicator like, hey, have we seen growth in that? A lot of the kids have solid growth in iReady, just based on getting that tutoring. It's not the specific reason, but it's an additional support for them.
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
On a motion by Member Dami, second by Member Bonsley, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Perfect. Board reports, information, discussion. Communications from the public, written communication. Okay, comments from employee representatives.
Okay, I want to start off by saying how much I absolutely appreciate all these school showcases. I feel like I probably said it too much. But I've learned so many things. I had no idea that Ridge Street was an Avid Showcase school. That's something I feel like everyone in our district should be aware of. So I'm wondering if there is any potential to gather the information from these presentations, send information out to the principals, like, do you want to zhuzh it up a little bit? But like, can we put these on our district webpage? People need to know the amazing things that are happening in our schools. Because when you go online, if you want to get information about the Yuba City Unified School District, and you Google it, you're going to get sent to some places that are not going to give you a great picture of what our district has to offer people. And to counter that, we need to be presenting the amazing things that are happening in our district, because there are literally thousands and thousands of amazing things happening in our schools every single day. On that note, I looked to make sure that these hadn't already been posted online because I didn't want to sound stupid. And when I did, I noticed that several of our school websites are so out of date that they list personnel that don't even work there anymore. So again, we live in a digital age. Obviously, word of mouth gets around, but when people are new to this area and don't know anybody, the first thing they're going to do is go online to learn about our schools. And if we are not putting ourselves in the best light, then what they're going to see is the negative things that people have to say about us. So just some thoughts about making sure our school websites are updated and that we're listing all the amazing things that are happening here, so even our people can know what's out there, like especially our new teachers who might want to go and observe so they know where those things are happening. I want to piggyback on Melissa's comment about school buses. Absenteeism is a huge issue. We heard 2 weeks ago and 4 weeks ago about the grant for these electric buses. So if we're putting out money towards buses, we want to fill them up with kids. So having those additional bus stops, looking at where we can pick up kids and get them to schools. I know that I've heard from parents of the students that I see, because they come from all over the district, that sometimes transportation is a reason that parents can't get their kids to school. So just a thought, it seems if we already have the buses, let's get them full. And then I also wanted to piggyback about collaboration time at elementary schools. Having worked as both a middle school and an elementary school teacher, I can tell you that teaching elementary school is the hardest job that exists. People will disagree with me, sorry public, but you are responsible for every subject that student has to learn. And prepping high quality lessons takes time. You can't just crack open a textbook, stand in front of a room of students, and read word for word out of the curriculum. That is not good teaching. Our elementary school teachers need that prep time wherever we can find it, 4 hours minimum. As Melissa was saying earlier, per month is nothing. I know it takes staffing, I know it takes work, but let's try to get creative and figure out ways that we can get these teachers that time that they need to be successful with their students in the classroom. Because if we're talking about wanting to increase student test scores, first instruction is the best way to do that. Y'all were talking about adding math coaches. I just want to encourage you to look at hiring those people from within our district. We are in a unique area. We have students who have unique needs, and when we hire internally and promote people from within, that is always our best way to get the best people in those positions. Whew, finally, I want to talk about my concerns with full-time tutoring. I'm going to start off by saying I don't fully understand everything that's in that contract, because there's a lot of pages and I read them 3 times. I don't know if we're doing all the things listed in that contract. Hearing that amount of money is just for now until the end of the school year is a little bit concerning to me. I agree with Mrs. Osceola. I would like to know how that student improvement is being monitored. And I'm curious why we are paying an outside tutoring company to work one-on-one with students when our own teachers have to have a minimum number of students in the classroom in order for us to run a tutoring session. So again, our teachers know our students best. Anytime that we can get our own people working with our own students, that's where we're going to get the most bang for our buck. I appreciate all of you. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Comments from board members?
I have a couple. I think that, we don't usually respond, but that really resonated with me, the piece about like our own teachers working one-on-one, and so it'd be interesting, because this is our first year using that, it'd be interesting to see whether or not we renew it for the following year too, that tutoring thing. Just a couple of things with like the newsletter. I think it'd be cool if, I don't know obviously the time commitment and whatnot, but like if we were to do something on a district level where it's like a monthly newsletter that has like the retirees or whatnot in like a newsletter type format that just gets sent out. Maybe all the departments can take like, 2 lines or whatnot, and then get that sent out. Like, here's the next board meeting or whatever. I know YCTA does that with their monthly thing. And then the last thing, I know I brought this up before, and I know it's been talked about a couple of times, the baseball lights with River Valley. I just wanted to know, like, when, because I don't want to keep, I know it takes time to gather data, but I just wanted to know when can we expect options or a better understanding of where we're at, like when can we expect that back to the board? Because I don't want to keep asking, and I know it takes time to gather information.
We can get back to you with that, we can talk to Kevin about next steps on that.
Okay, so at the next board meeting?
We can have an answer, of yes.
Of what options are out there? Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
Okay, or where we stand?
where we stand, I think is probably yes.
I'd like to kind of piggyback on that when she said baseball lights. I know that YCHS and their solar installation, building, whatever you want to call that, construction. I know Heather brought to the board at a previous board meeting how it's going to really eradicate a large area of where her students have room to let off energy and have some physical activity time. I've been contacted by several high school teachers, coaches about the impact this is going to have on a baseball program that went to phenomenal heights last year. And you can't have a great baseball program if you cut it off at the knees at the freshman level. So what is the solar and moving a parking lot over to our freshman baseball field going to do to that program? So, and I haven't really heard, you know, I know that I commented back, I think it was to Doreen, that I was hoping that the powers that be here at the district level could figure out an alternative as opposed to making a parking lot out of a baseball field. So do you have any idea where we might be on that?
Yes, I mean, our plans are to temporarily use that as the gravel down and use that as
But it's right at the height of baseball season.
that field is not being used for that
Okay.
for those purposes at all. So and when we're done with that, we're going to remove it and plant grass. So it'll actually probably be better grass, and because there's not much grass there right now. Currently.
But will it still have an impact on the on the other students who use that area?
So it will be taking up some of the space that the Independence Academy and those areas that we're using, but we're using about 1/3 of that is going to be available, and of course there's the football field that's right there as well. So there's other options, but it will be impacting it while we're doing the construction.
And you've gathered all of the teachers and maintenance and custodial all together so that they're all aware of what's going to be available to them and how this is all going to work?
So we've been in contact with the principal, and so she's working on the messaging plan right now, but we've been out there to talk about the impacts of the school. Yes, we have.
Okay. And are we listening to people who might have other ideas?
Well, I'm not sure exactly what you mean by that, but
Well, if somebody has a suggestion that might be a better idea than what we're currently planning to do.
that would be nice if we had some ideas there.
Well, that's why you need to gather the people to do that, to find out if they are out there. I'm just saying. I mean, I've had a lot of people contact me about worry about the baseball program and the impact and
So we don't see the impacts of the baseball program because that's not a field that's used for that, but
For JV or varsity?
It's the freshman field, they're using the freshman field, correct?
yeah,
And there's no freshman
there's no freshman team.
And the unfortunate thing is because we have been talking about this, we were notified, and I think that the concern is that the project has a very tight timeline that has to be completed by April.
so it can't be pushed till the summer at all.
No, because we'll lose money and it will cost us, and then there is approximately 140 parking spots, and there's not enough room on the streets to move those cars all onto the streets, and so there's not a great solution because they are actually doing the project in 2 parking lots simultaneously in order, and as it is, it's already a pretty compressed timeline, so it's not
It's
ideal.
going to be the Park Avenue parking lot and the
It's on Franklin. It's a small part of that. That's a real small part of the project. Just
Park
one
Avenue
array,
is.
but it is going to affect that. That is really the park. That's the big one.
the Park Avenue parking lot.
Yeah.
And that's a huge student parking lot.
Correct, so there's the senior lot and the staff lot that are available, but that's not enough to address the Park Avenue and the Franklin lots. And again, if we could just park on the street, we would, but there's no
So
park.
will this parking lot that's going to be taking over what was the freshman baseball field, is that only going to be for staff or is that going to be for staff and students?
Yeah, the staff and students are,
I don't know that part.
Yeah,
I just know that the
It was to replace basically the number of slots that were in the Park Avenue. Parking lot.
because both staff and students park in the Park Avenue parking lot.
I believe that's
Yeah.
true.
And I know it's not ideal.
And we'll be doing more to keep students out of the staff parking lot?
That I don't know. Because
would
again,
suggest-
I don't know that we're gonna be able to say there's, at this point in time, there's a staff parking lot and a student parking lot, because there's gonna be impact across the whole school. And again, the plan would be is that the parking lot will be temporary, it will be removed in April once the solar is completed, and then the grass will be replanted. And again, it's not ideal, if there is another place to park, we are opening.
And we have been,
those.
we're looking at, parking lots in the area at some churches, there's just not enough space in that area, to do something like that. So this, this is what we believe is the best option. It is gonna be impactful though.
Okay.
And I'd just like to clarify, I'd really like to hear like options for River Valley. Thanks.
Other comments from superintendent?
Oh, yes, so I just wanted to clarify, so Heather, thank you. The websites are actually going to be updated, so it's been a project the IT department has been working on, and so stay tuned. So those will be updated, but I do like the idea of the showcases going up, because I do think the principals and staff have done a nice work to highlight what's going on in their schools. I would like to thank you for the extension of my contract for 2 more years, so thank you. And then Read Across America, Dr. Seuss's birthday is coming up, so you will be receiving invitations to be guest readers at several of our sites. So if you in particular have a site you might want to read at and they're having one of their celebrations, let me know and I will contact the principals on your behalf. But stay tuned, because it's Read Across America Day on, I think, March 2nd. I got the date right.
Yeah, I signed up. Everybody who, I'm just putting this out there, everybody that asked me to read is a yes.
Okay, okay, very good.
Next board meeting is the 24th, open sessions at 7. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved. Second.
Second. Yeah, lots of first and seconds.
Okay, motion by member Downey, second by member Ciociola, all in favor? Aye. Aye.
The most popular motion.
Yuba-Sutter.live's local government live streams are presented by Plumas Lake Self-Storage in Plumas Lake, where lifelong local residents are helping other residents keep things safe, providing indoor storage units, outdoor RV and vehicle parking, moving supplies, and Penske truck rentals.
Hi, I'm Neil.
Details at plumaslakeselfstorage.com.
Hi, I'm Neil Goforth of Comfort Keepers of Yuba, Sutter, and Nevada counties. Caring for elders or even yourself has challenges. Comfort Keepers of Yuba, Sutter, and Nevada counties can help you address today's issues and plan for tomorrow with in-home and specialized care for you or your family members. Call us at 530-749-8800. Comfort Keepers of Yuba, Sutter, and Nevada counties.
Yuba-Sutter Live. It's the truth that comes through.